So here we have a question that says Jack is invests 1,500 at a certain annual interest rate, and then he invests another 2,000 at an annual rate that is 1/2% higher. If he receives $220 interest in 1 year, at what rate is the 1,500 invested? So this is talking about creating a mathematical model from a word problem. So in order to create a mathematical model using this, you need to first know the formula for interest rate. And so that formula is found in your book. It is I is equal to PRT. And what these all stand for is a capital I. This is a simple interest, how to calculate simple interest. And capital I stands for the interest. P stands for the principal or the initial amount that's invested. R stands for the rate. That's the interest rate, and if it's given to you in the problem, it's usually given as a percentage rate, and you'll need to change it to a decimal form. And then T is the time, and that is in years. So we are going to take this and we are going to see if we can incorporate it into this problem. So before I use the formula, let's talk about what we have here. So I'm going to highlight some important facts in the problem. So he's got 1,500 that he's going to invest at a certain rate. And then he's got another additional 2,000 that he is going to invest at another rate that's 1/2% higher. The total interest that he's going to receive is $220 in 1 year. And the overall question is you want to know the interest rate that the 1,500 was invested at. So those are the important things I highlighted in the problem. Let's talk about this. So we need, what do we know from the problem? He gets $220 total for the year in interest. So if you can calculate how much interest the $1,500 made, and you can calculate how much interest the $2,000 made, when you add them together, you're going to get the total interest for the year of the $220. So, and we're interested in specifically the rate that this one has. So I'm going to use this formula twice here. And the interest made on the 1,500 is going to be the principal, which is 1,500, times the rate, which is our unknown, I'm going to call it X, times the time, which this is for 1 year. So that will be 1. And then I'm going to add it to the $2,000 interest made. So I have to take the principal there, which is 2,000, multiply it by the rate, which would be X plus 1/2% higher, which when you're talking about a percentage, let's come up with a number. Let's just, if I said I have an 8% interest rate, that is in decimal form written 0.08. So if I was half of a percentage higher, it would be 8.5. So in decimal form, it would be 0.085. So when it says 1/2% higher, when I take X, I have to add 0.005 to it because it's 0.5% higher, which in decimal form means you move the decimal 2 places to the left and drop the percent sign. So that's how you would write 0.5% in decimal form. So that's how we have to write it here. And then set it equal to 220. So now I've come up with the equation. Oops, somehow my 1 got erased here. I think my eraser accidentally came on. But, I mean, regardless, the 1 will get erased because 1500 times 1 will just be 1500 x times x. And then you've got 2000 times x, and then 2000 times 0.005. So 2000 times x would look like that. I'm going to distribute this. 2000 times 0.005 would be 10. Combining my like terms, these two are like terms. And so combining those two, I would get 3500x plus 10 is equal to 220. And now I just have to solve this problem. So I'm going to isolate the x, so I do that by subtracting 10 from both sides. Then I'll get 3500x is equal to 210. And then lastly, we need to isolate the x, so since it is 3500 times x, I will divide both sides by 3500, and I will end up with x is equal to, and then on my calculator, I am taking 210, and I am dividing it by 3,500, and I get an interest rate 0.06. That is written in decimal form. It wants it in percentage form. So, and plus I have to remember, what did I call x? And what is the question asking? So I called x the interest on the 1500, which is what it's asking for. If it had said, what is the rate on the 2000, then I would have to say x plus 0.005. So I would say 0.06 plus 0.005, which ends up being 0.065 or 6.5% written in percent form. So we have to make sure that we know which question we are being asked so that we can answer it appropriately. This one is asking for the one for the 1500, so this is my answer here, 6%.